Hello everyone and welcome to a little happily ever after. Now, I've been saying for ages over on my Instagram that I wanted to go into YouTube, and I actually had a video recorded back in, I think it was like June time, and I recorded all the clips and just never did anything with it. However, I've been saying for ages that I want to go into YouTube. So this is it, we're doing it, we're sticking with it. This video is going to go on YouTube, I promise. So basically, my channel delves into everything Disney-fied, if you hasn't guessed by the ears and the bag just behind, 1 second, there, and the top. We're going to delve into everything Disney-fied, and we'll talk about things from snacks to movies to rides in the park to highlighting the wonderful small Disney shops that I've found along the way. I plan to do a little bit of everything, throw it in there, and because I'm such an unorganised person at times, it will just be whenever I fancy doing whatever I fancy doing. Now, obviously, if people do end up following my videos and wanting me to do certain things, I don't mind doing that, but let's not get ahead of ourselves as this is the first video. As you can tell, I'm rambling, I'm very nervous, but we're going to go with it anyway. So today's video is basically going to be an introduction to me, here, hello, the introduction to me, what I've been doing, who I am, and just, yeah, so you can learn a little bit about me rather than just the name, because I think it's always important to know the creators behind the wonderful social media accounts and YouTube accounts. So I had many different ideas of how to do this introduction video. But since I tried to record the one back in June, I've managed to gain a decent following on Instagram. Not huge by any means. I'm not saying I'm some famous Instagram Disney star. No, I'm not. But I'm really proud of what I've done. And basically, I thought, well, let's ask them. They're the ones that follow me on Instagram, and hopefully some of them will come across and watch this YouTube. So I put on my story and asked them to ask me questions to introduce myself. So what I'm going to do is I will put them on the screen as I'm talking, the one that I'm answering, and give you guys a little bit of info about me. So let's get started and you can find out about this weirdly wonderful Disney geek. Now, I just want to put a disclaimer out there that I actually did get more questions than I expected, which was absolutely wonderful. However, I may need to save some of them for another time, otherwise this video will go on for hours. So I will pick some of the ones which I think will be good for this video and keep the rest for a different one. So let's dive right in with question 1, which is here. And this was asked and it says, what made me start my Instagram? So I always like telling the story of this because it does make me smile. So basically, I've been at university for the past 5 years. I did switch course. I used to do sport development and I switched to criminology. And whilst at university, I joined a thing called a society. Now, around the world, they may have different names, but basically a society is like a club where you go and do a hobby, an interest, or take up something new. So I've always had a passion for musical theatre. So in my second year of university, I decided to join the Musical Theatre Society. And when you join, you can go along as a member, but you can also choose to run as a committee member. So you volunteer your time, basically you run in like a mini election, and it means you get to lead the society in a variety of different roles. So in my first year, I was marketing, but I also ended up helping out and doing some choreography as a co-choreographer. And then for the last 2 years of my time, I was president, which was one of the best experiences of my life. It took up so much of my time. Obviously, you had drama and everything else. It's theatre, kids. What do you expect? So I did that and I got to do shows. I put on balls and it was incredible. Like one of the best experiences of my life. I've met some of my best friends through there, and yeah, it was a time I would never ever change at all. But basically that took up most of my days, and after I finished my role, I was felt like there was something missing, and I wanted to fill it with something that I was passionate about. So what am I most passionate about in the world? Disney. So I didn't really know where to start. I didn't know where I should go with it. So I just kind of went on Instagram, had a look what people seem to be interested in, and just kind of ran from there. I'd got plenty of Disney photos and obviously wanted to incorporate some ones taken from home. But at the time of starting my Instagram, I had no idea what was going to happen with it. I didn't know what to expect from it. I didn't know how to gain friends from it or anything like that. And I think it was all just one big learning process, basically. But that Instagram, and even after a few weeks, the people that I'd met already helped to fill that hole that was missing from running my society. And doing this Instagram it doesn't take up a load of my time, but I do make sure that I put like a little bit of effort into it every day, making sure I'm going on and looking at other people's posts, interacting with them, showing them some love on their posts. And it has been an incredible experience so far. But yeah, my Instagram was made to fill that gap that was left from me leaving my volunteer role, and it is the best choice that I ever made. So I hope that helps answer why I made my Instagram. So we'll have a little look at question 2, which is here. So question 2 is what made me fall in love with Disney. Now, I've had a love of Disney since I was a little kid, as I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this have as well. So when I was younger, my mum and dad at my house back at home had rows and rows of VHS, just realised, for anyone who's younger than me and doesn't know what a VHS is, it was a video and you put it in like a player, so a bit like a DVD but a lot chunkier, and if the film got caught it could go everywhere and it was a nightmare, but nostalgic nevertheless. So there was rows and rows of these, and we used to watch them when I was a child. And then a couple of times when I was about 3 or 4, we went to Disneyland Paris. I don't remember it much, apart from bopping Goofy on the nose, but I hope he's forgiven me. Anyway, I get so distracted, can you tell? So basically I went there a couple of times. Then when I got to the age of 9, so 2005, we took our first trip to Walt Disney World in Florida. And while I still feel that same magical feeling every time I walk through the gates, obviously the first time you ever walk into Magic Kingdom and you see Cinderella's castle, or back then you walked into MGM Studios, as it was called then, and saw the Sorcerer's Hat, which again, I personally love the Sorcerer's Hat. I know some people didn't like it, but I loved the Sorcerer's Hat. But just that feeling of walking into a park for the first time, and you can see like the magic in people and the smiles when they do that. And I think ever since starting to go to the parks like regular every couple of years, it really made me appreciate Disney so much more. And as I've got older and older and older, I've looked out for little details. I've been watching YouTubers and found snacks that I want to go and try, or of trying to find hidden Mickeys. And I think there's something new every time I go that just makes me fall a little bit more in love with it every single time. But not only that, I love the music and the films and just everything Disney has to offer and everything that's brought for me. It sounds cliche as such, but Disney is definitely my happy place. It's where I'm happiest being. It's where I'm happiest talking. It's something that I tell everyone about. And yeah, I think just since being a kid, my passion for Disney has grown more. And I think even more so, which is strange for a lot of people, but as an adult, these are falling down. But I'm trying to keep them on because they all match. They may have to come off if they keep falling down like this. But no, I think since growing up, I've actually gained more of a passion for Disney. I had a huge passion when I was younger, but even more so since I've got older, and especially since doing this Instagram, it's made me see so many people's perspectives, so many different things that I didn't realise went on like Disney Instagram and Disney social media, and I love it. I love everything about it. So that is where my love of Disney comes from. So as you can tell, a little bit of Disney magic happened in between there. The ears did keep falling off, and as much as I wanted to keep them on, every time I was talking, I could literally feel them coming like this towards my eyes, and I didn't want to end up like this with ears coming out towards the screen, towards you guys. So we've gone for a NOTBAND, and yes, this is a bit of a shameless self-plug, but this NOTBAND is from one of the small businesses that I am a brand rep for. So please check them out. you can use this code here, Lauren10, for 10% off as well. So definitely check them out, because this is a Winnie the Pooh one. I hope you can see it. It's very cute. One sec, let me take it off. I want to show you guys. So it's got kind of Winnie the Pooh down there. It's got Winnie the Pooh on the top and Piglet, and it's absolutely adorable. So yeah, definitely check them out. And that was the shameless self plug, which will probably keep happening because I want to push the small shops that I brand rep for over and everywhere, because they are incredible. Okay, so now we're sorted with that faff on, I will carry on with the questions. So question 3 is this. A very simple one, but one that I think is important if you are learning about the creators that you follow and who you're watching. So I'm actually from a place in the United Kingdom. If you haven't guessed by the accent that I'm British, English, I'm from a place called Newcastle upon Tyne, and it's basically in the north of England. So where Newcastle is, if you go up a little bit further, that's when you get to Scotland. So that's basically where I'm from, or where I live as such. So I originally am from a very, very, very little village called Mask by the Sea, which is in Teesside in the northeast of England. And I lived there for pretty much my entire life until I left my home and my house and moved up to Newcastle to obviously study for university. And as I said before, I changed course, so I was at university a lot longer than I expected to be, but best time of my life, so would not take that back. So I then came to Newcastle, and I've been living in Newcastle ever since. I've moved from kind of place to place, because with university you don't tend to stay in one place, because you'll move in with different people, or you'll move to different houses and flats and things. So I've kind of moved around Newcastle over the past few years. I currently live with my wonderful boyfriend Simon, who is currently downstairs on his games, and I'll probably do another video about this, because I know it's not that Disney-esque, but I think it's something that it's a big part of my life, so it's important to share with everyone. So I'm actually getting a house. I've got a mortgage with Simon, and we actually, literally yesterday to this video being done, we got our mortgage approved, which is fantastic. The contracts were handed over yesterday, and I am just so excited. So we're getting a brand new house, and tomorrow, actually on Sunday, we're getting to pick all of the kind of interiors and everything that goes with it. So then we'll be settled. So at the minute we're in a place just next to the Tyne, which is a river that runs through Newcastle, and that's where we currently are living in it, like kind of like 2-story little flat. But I'm very excited for the house, and probably plan to stay here for a long time. This is where I work, this is kind of where I've been, and this is where I think we're gonna build our life. So yeah, that's where I'm from. If you don't know where Newcastle is, just have a little search on Google. You can have a little look about the sorts of things that are here, but obviously depending how stuff goes, I may show you some parts of Newcastle at some point in a later video. So let's go on to the next one, which is getting a little bit more kind of Disney-fied. So this one here. So the question is, which is my favourite Disney park? Now, for any Disney fan, or I'm certainly sure a lot of us, when you ask this question, you suddenly think all sorts, and you're like, oh, well, I love this one because of this, and I love this one because of that. And I do think it is incredibly difficult to pick a favourite park, because I think, especially for me, I have favourite parts in every park, I have least favourite parts in every park, and it is very difficult. However, I can probably narrow it down to 2 out of all the ones I've visited. So obviously in total I visited 6 parks, excluding obviously the water parks, because I visited Walt Disney World and I've also visited Disneyland Paris. Now obviously if I did this in a couple of years time, after I've maybe, fingers crossed, got to visit some of the other Disney parks around the world, this may change. But for now, it's very close here, pretty much on here, between Magic Kingdom and Epcot. Now, a lot of people are surprised when I say Epcot, but for a lot of years, Epcot was like my favourite by far, because I loved the World Showcase. I love being able to go around and almost visit everywhere in the world without actually having to pay for flights to everywhere in the world. You know, you get to see things about each kind of culture as you go around. You've got food and snacks that you can try from everywhere. And I just think it's so beautifully done. And I mean, as well, on top of that, the walking that you get, I always keep my steps on when I'm going around Disney parks. This is kind of going off topic a little bit, like generically. I keep my like step tracker on my phone, and the amount of steps you do in Disney is incredible. Like, I would always go over there thinking, oh, I'm going to eat so much food, I'm going to gain so much weight. And the last couple of times I've been, I've actually lost weight due to the pure amount of walking. It's like an absolute dream. It's amazing. But no, so basically I love Epcot for that reason, and just love Test Track and Soarin' as well. Absolutely incredible rides. Like, I love other rides there, but those two are both absolutely sensational. And then there's Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is obviously special to a lot of people. You know, it's got Cinderella's castle. When you walk in, you see that castle which you've seen on adverts and posters for years before movies. You see that castle, and when you walk in and see like the Cinderella's castle, and obviously it'd probably be the same feeling people as you walk into kind of any park that's got the castle, but Magic Kingdom, just, that's when you know you're home. That's when you know you're home, you're at Disney. So I think for me, Magic Kingdom as well, the rides and the theming there, I just think I love it so much, because you've got things like Thunder Mountain in one corner. This is falling down now as well. I think I just need to not wear headbands, but I can guarantee you I'd then be flicking my hair like this out my face. So if me pushing this up is annoying people, I promise I will try and do better next time. So please come back and watch my other videos. So I think Magic Kingdom and Epcot are very close, because as I started to say before my headband got in the way, you can go to one side and you've got things like Thunder Mountain and Splash Mountain, and then you go over to the other side and in the future you've got Space Mountain and Buzz Lightyear. And I think just because it is the epitome of Disney, you can't not, like, it's difficult to not have it as a favourite. I'm not going to say can't not, because obviously everyone has their favourites, but I think that for me, Magic Kingdom and Epcot are my joint favourites, and at one point in these videos I may be able to edge one, but for now they're pretty even. Now, this question here was one that I fully expected to be here, and it's so difficult because, as you can tell, I'm indecisive. I'm really indecisive. And I'd be like, oh, I love this one, I love this one, I love this one. And it's because I do. It's because I can never make, I struggle to make decisions like that. But we'll try. So my favourite kind of OG Disney film, so one that's kind of not like a remake or a live action remake or anything, is Beauty and the Beast. I absolutely love Beauty and the Beast. I adore Chip and Lumiere and Cogsworth and Miss Potts, and I just think the storyline is amazing. The songs, just like things like Be Our Guest, are just such kind of positivity bringers, and it's one of those films that I can literally put on at any point and absolutely love watching it. I never get bored of it. I think it's just very heartwarming tale, and I love Beauty and the Beast as my kind of favourite OG film. My favourite kind of newer film is probably tied a little bit. So it's tied between Inside Out, and I know people are going to think that it's Up. I do love Up. I do love it. I do love it, but it's not my favourite. It's between Inside Out and Zootopia, Zootropolis, depending on how you say it, because I know that can sometimes be a massive debate over what the actual title of that one is. So the reasons I love those films: I love Zootopia because I'm just fascinated by the story. I love a film where you're kind of learning who the bad guy is, and I know it happens a lot in Disney films, but often, like, for instance, you know from the start in a lot of films you can, like, oh, they're the bad guy, but, like, in case no one's watched it, I'm not going to say who was the bad guy, but I was shocked. Like, when I watched that film, I was like, because, like, I love that character, but honestly, that film just entices me. I adore it. I love it so much, and that is why that one's my favourite. And then Inside Out, I love the way it explores into people's emotions. I love the way that it kind of takes something that we all have and makes it into a character. It almost makes it normal as well, because I feel like emotions can be a funny little thing. Now, I'm not going to get too deep, but like emotions can be a funny little thing, and I think the fact that they've turned it into like little characters helps you kind of to resonate more with it and resonate more with yourself. And I just think it's a well-written, fun film, and I love Bing Bong. I love Bing Bong so much. And yeah, so favourite films, I've kind of narrowed down to 3. I think that's good enough. So is Beauty and the Beast, Inside Out, and Zootopia / Zootropolis. So I'm aware I've been rambling on for quite a while now, but obviously I wanted to try and get as many questions as I could in and expand as much as I can, so I wasn't just giving kind of a few word answers. So I'm going to do one more question, and then the rest of them actually have given me some ideas for videos. So obviously if I do decide to do videos based off the question, I will obviously put the question into those videos as well. So the last one is this one here. So what other non-Disney things do I enjoy? Now, obviously earlier I spoke a little bit about the reason why I started my Instagram. So one big thing I love is musical theatre. I've done it since I was little and then got to pursue it again at university. And I love musicals. I listen to musicals so much. For instance, on Spotify, my most listened to album, and I was in like something like the top few % of listeners, which is quite sad to some people, but I really loved it. Was Six the Musical was my most listened to album of the year. That is one of my favourite musicals. I may do a video about musicals I like at some point, just to kind of do like alternative occasional ones from Disney, just to give you a bit more insight about things that I love. So musical theatre is definitely one of my biggest passions. I love being able to go on stage in different costumes and roles, and I love to dance as well. So I love getting to do all of that mashed into one. I've also had the chance to do some incredible Disney songs whilst I've been in musical theatre. So I've got to do things like be our guest from Beauty and the Beast. I got to do my first year of being in my society. I also, my favourite Disney one that I've done in musical theatre was I got to be Ursula and do Poor Unfortunate Souls, which was a dream to do. I had this amazing wig that was styled by someone called Elspeth in Society, and she also did the dress for me, and it was amazing. There was kind of smoke on the stage, and I had my wonderful friend Izzy as Ariel, and I just had so much fun with it. That video is on YouTube. I will link that down below if anyone is interested in watching that. But that was one of the favourite ones that I got to do. I've also got to do things like Lion King, and we can kind of class it as Disney. It's not, but now it's on Disney Plus. We've done loads of Hamilton numbers, and Simon, my boyfriend who I mentioned earlier, has played Hamilton multiple times in those, because he can also sing and is a great rapper as well. So I've had a chance to do loads of different things in musical theatre. I'm also a big travelling fan, as you can imagine, as well as going to Disney. I've managed to go to multiple other places in America. I've been to loads of places around Europe. I've been to kind of like Prague and Paris, and just loads of places around Europe as well. And I also enjoy seeing other parts of the UK. So for instance, in the summer, obviously when COVID was in, couldn't go abroad, so me and Simon went to kind of a hot tub lodge in the Midlands, which was incredible. So I love travelling and seeing new places, and there's so many places on my bucket list. So hopefully get to go to some of them when all this craziness has finished in the world. As well as travelling, I do like gaming. I love play Call of Duty most nights. I have kind of a Switch and an Xbox and things. I love playing everything, like I say, from Call of Duty to Professor Layton to Mario. I love doing gaming as well. And also enjoy baking, which I haven't done much of recently, which is crazy considering most people seem to have taken up baking during lockdowns and everything. But I do love to bake. I love sweet stuff and cakes and everything. So yeah, that's another passion of mine. So I have lots of different things that I like. I like to try new things. I like finding new things to do. So more than happy to see what else is available to fill up my time. And obviously the main thing, say, is my Disney life, which is getting Disneyer and Disneyer and Disneyer by the day. But hopefully you enjoyed some of the things that are non-Disney that I like. So that is it. I'm sorry it was a little bit long, as I said earlier, but I just wanted to try and introduce the person behind A Little Happily Ever After a little bit more before I started delving into all things Disneyfied. So hopefully you've learnt a little bit more about me. So before I finish, just want to point out a couple of things. So firstly, this amazing jumper I have here is from an amazing shop which has just rebranded itself, called Small World Society. So check them out on Instagram. Anyone who has asked me a question today or anything that was mentioned, i.e. kind of my NOTBAND or my jumper, is all kind of linked down below for you to check out, and check out the amazing kind of small shops and creators who have kind of been involved in this video for little ways. To clarify, you know, I bought these things, so I just wanted to shout them out. And obviously, as I said, I'm a brand rep for a couple of small shops, so I'm going to link them in all my videos because I think they deserve some love too. So as well as Dash Kingdom here, I also am a brand rep for Sparkle Designs by Lucy and Lady Jane Dreams Co. So they are linked below for you to check out. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you choose to come back. My Instagram as well is below and also here. So please check me out on Instagram and check out all my Disney pictures, if that's kind of your sort of thing as well, if you do have Instagram as well. And I do hope you choose to come back for my next video. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be yet. I've got a few ideas, but hopefully I'll get that out soon. So this has been A Little Happily Ever After. I hope you have an incredible day, a magical day, and keep it glittery.
Ever after, find your happily ever after. Find your happily ever